Good evening, travelers. You're tuned in to Circuits FM Live, the only synthwave radio show broadcasting across the Circuitverse. I am your host, the Circuit Master, and it's great to be with you this evening. Hope you are all doing well. Hope you had a great day. Hope you had a great week. I have a wonderful show for you this evening. But first, here are a few quick channel items before we get going this evening. First, we're live. We're live every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and X. In addition, album premieres take place over on YouTube at 8 p.m. Central Time every Monday. And if you need synthwave between shows, Circuits FM airs live streams on Rumble, YouTube, Kick, and X, which is not true at the moment. Right now, the stream is down. The stream will be going back up this weekend, but it'll probably go back down on Monday or Tuesday. I'm doing some things behind the scenes in order to update some of the hardware and software. But I will keep you in the loop when that comes back up. So look for that. In the meantime, Circuits FM has playlists on Rumble and YouTube. Of course, you can catch Circuits FM or Circuits FM live on YouTube, on the YouTube and Rumble apps on your Roku box if you have one. And finally, thank you to my channel members for your continued support. Truly do appreciate it. Now let's jump into those chats. And thanks again for everyone being here this evening. Shadow Governor FM says, long live Circuits FM. Good to see you, Sir Shadow. I hope you are doing well. If you had a great week, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Just want to say welcome. That did not come out very well. Anyway, thank you to my viewers over on Kick. I appreciate it. Hopefully those emojis at some point will be taken care of by Restream, that's the software I'm streaming through this evening. Because we are streaming live across YouTube, Rumble, X, and Kick. William, good to see you, my friend. William says, good evening, happy Friday. My favorite place to be on a Friday night. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Ready for some great tunes? Thank you, Circuit Master. Well, thank you, William. Always good to see you. I hope you had a terrific week. Joy, hope you're doing well. Glad to see you. Joy says, wonderful tunes for the start of the weekend. Thank you. What do you have going on this weekend? Black Spire FM in the house. Go check out their classical music on YouTube. Black Spire says, hello. Hello. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for being here. One more note. I like that. I like that hash. I like that that name. One more note. Approves. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. It's your first Circuits FM live. Welcome. Hope you had a terrific week. Of course, Joy says, hello, William. Hello, Shadow Governor. And William again. Hello. It's great to see everyone. Thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Tonight, Synthwave Collapse, 1986 memory. Chapter 3 of the Synthwave Emotions Trilogy, Outrun and Retro Synthwave. 18 tracks across 2 sides and 1 intermission. The signal fades, the memory holds. Side A, 9 tracks. The fade, magnetic fade, opens the signal decay. Memoryloop 86, Neon Veins, Camaro Ghostline, Digital Ashes, at the center of the descent. Forgotten Boulevard, Echo Drive, Rearview Static, and Sunset Downgrade, closing the side. Side B is 9 tracks. The Final Ignition, Night, Signal Lost, Opens the Collapse, Broken Horizon, Chrome Memory Lane, IROC Dreams, Rewind. VHS Ghostride, Cracked Circuit Love, and then the title track, 1986 Memory, into Lost Frame, and closing on Final Ignition. The trilogy resolves. And let's move this over and transition. Travelers, this is side A, the Fade, 9 tracks, Magnetic Fade, firing up the signal decay, Memoryloop, 86 spiraling, Neon Veins on the night drive, Camaro Ghostline, down the Boulevard, Digital Ashes at the center of the descent, Forgotten Boulevard, Echo Drive, Rearview Static, and Sunset Downgrade closing the fade. Travelers, press play and disappear. This is side A of 1986 Memory. Travelers, that was side A, the fade, in the rear view mirror. By the way, Digital Ashes, track 5 in that set is usually, sometimes, an opening track for Circuits FM Live. Of course, you can hear that on the 1986 Memory album over on YouTube and Rumble. We're at the intermission, so before we cross into side B, I just wanted to take a couple moments to say thank you to the people who keep this broadcast going, my YouTube channel members, to my VHS Vault members, Kim Tink, Shadow Governor FM, Reno Man 1, Steve, Eric, and Ace, and to all of my cassette rebels. Thank you for riding along this evening. I truly appreciate it, and I truly appreciate your continued support. Of course, if you want to support the channel as a channel member on YouTube, the membership link is in the YouTube description below. Cassette Rebels and VHS Vault members have early access to new albums, and they have access to a growing catalog of channel member albums as well, and live streams, which I am slowly integrating into the membership benefits. Of course, if you want to support Circuits FM live during the show, just head down to the chat. There's options down there. Just click on the $sign. There's a few options that YouTube will take you through. Same thing over on Rumble. If you'd like to support Circuits FM over on Rumble during the show, there's a tip jar next to the like button. There are Rumble rants, subscriptions, same thing as channel membership, or you could give somebody a subscription or a group of people subscriptions. Like I said before, you can access full albums in the YouTube catalog if you choose to. Let's jump into the chat before we jump into side B. Just want to say hello to Reno Man 1. You're doing well, brother. Says warm it up like Shadow said. Of course, that's Shadow Governor FM. Let's see here. Where is that one? I think I missed it. Joy says, William, it is. Nice to meet you. Glad to see you both met, Joy and William. Great to see subscribers interacting, saying hello. Let's see here. Let me grab a couple. Coachron over on Rumble says, good evening, everyone. Glad to be here. Join the tunes. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well, and you were. And you are. You had a very interesting week. It's good to hear. It's good to hear everything went well as well. Let's see here. William says, nice to meet you as well, Joy. Very cool. Let's see here. Snarky Guy over Rumble says, I like that, by the way, Snarky Guy. I like that name. What's up, Circuits? Coachron, how you doing? Welcome, man. Hope you're doing well. Snarky Guy was gifted a membership by Coachron Vibes. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see here. Black Spire FM has 34 orange synthwave jars. Nice. Yeah, I need to figure out how to get a bot over on Rumble. Of course, Rumble has Rumble bot, so that might be an option as well. I am working on a Circuits one called Circuits Bot, but that's going to take a little while. and I'm going to need some additional hardware for that. So we'll see what happens with CircuitBot. CircuitBot's probably not going to happen in the next month. It's gonna take a little bit of time to get that one going. That's quite a side project. Snarky Guy says thank you. And let's see, Snarky Guy also says, I wrote a dope visualizer program. Cool, very cool. Black Spire got 91% on the end vibe. Very cool. Very cool. And Coltron, thank you again, my friend, for the subscription. Appreciate it. Very cool. Very cool, my friend. All right, let's jump into this second list of the evening. Travelers, this is side B. Well, I got to make the transition before I get this going. That's what I needed to do. That was it. That was the magic right there. Travelers, this is side B, the final ignition. 9 tracks, Night Signal Lost, Broken Horizon, Chrome Memory Lane, IROC Dreams Rewind, VHS Ghostride on the tape, Crack Circuit Love, and then the title track 1986 Memory, Into Lost Frame, and closing on Final Ignition. The trilogy resolves tonight. Signal holds Travelers. This is side B of 1986 Memory. Travelers, that was Synthwave Collapse 1986 Memory in full. Chapter 3 of the Synthwave Emotions Trilogy, played across side A and side B. Closing on Final Ignition, the trilogy resolves. Thank you again for spending the evening with me. I truly appreciate it. Um, of course, I am here every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on YouTube, Kick, Rumble, and X. Let's hit the chat one more time before we call it a night. We had an all 80s, an all 80s chat going on over on Rumble. Let's see here. Joy says, waiting for a return of a patient right now, just kicking it legs up, digesting delicious shrimp, I'm sure. Should be able to go home in a few hours. Well, thank you for being here, Joy. I appreciate it. I know you are busy over there. Let's see here. William says, man, this album is kicking. Yeah, I appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed it. We had, I don't know if anybody remembers Blue Thunder, the movie in the 80s. There was a television show, which I completely forgot about. I think most people forgot about it. But yeah, there were a lot of shows. A-Team. Snarky Guy says A-Team. You mean, yeah, those were dope. Yeah, A-Team, MacGyver. It's pretty cool stuff. Let's see here. I got my SG-1 reference in. Coltron over on Rumble says YouTube has Airwolf full extended theme remake 2023. Search for this title. It's very synthwavy. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out afterward. Cool thing too about the show is I can, if I happen to forget, I can go back and watch the show. It'll remind me, and I can go check it out. I just wanted to mention that if you're a real nerd, there is a later season episode where Colonel O'Neill, he's in the elevator with Samantha Carter. I think she's a major then, and he makes a MacGyver reference, which I thought was pretty cool at the time, and I still think it's pretty cool. Ari, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good week. Have a great weekend. Say hello to Totally Not Chris for me. Let's see here. William says, thank you for a great show tonight. It was nice meeting everyone in here tonight. Great music with great company. Cheers to CircuitsFM. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Hope the weather is nice out there in your neck of the woods. In DC, I believe. What is the weather in DC right now? Let's see here. I had to throw in a Police Academy reference. All right. Now I'm getting both chats going. All right. So William says, remember Automan. I probably would if I saw it. I probably would remember it. I probably would. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, because that's Michael Winslow, by the way. Because Snarky Guy over on Rumble made a comment earlier about, isn't that the noise guy? Yeah. Yeah, because he was in Police Academy, and then he was also in Spaceballs, the really famous scene in Spaceballs. That led into the jam scene. Let's see here. Snarky Guy says, I'm totally watching Blue Thunder tomorrow. Yeah, do it. I'm going to be watching a couple episodes of Star Trek this weekend. That's what I'll be doing. Aries, I'm pretty sure. It has Tron. Yeah, William says it has Tron. I think I know what you're talking about. I do. I think I know what you're talking about. Tron style special effects. Yeah, that is ringing a bell. Cotron over on Rumble says I didn't know about the Stargate SG1 reference. Yeah. Yeah, they throw a couple in there, and then there's a couple really, really, really subtle references. Because Teal'c, Christopher Judge, he was in an episode. He was in an episode of MacGyver 2. And then so was General Hammond. General Hammond was in. I don't think they did a a meta reference with that combination, but I'm pretty sure they did one with him and Teal'c. There's a scene you could go on YouTube. There's a scene where MacGyver's teaching a class, and Christopher Judge is playing I don't know if it's a high school setting or a college. I think it's a high school setting, and he's one of the football players. Snarky guy over on Rumble says, "Nice meeting you guys. Catch you next time." Yeah, thanks for stopping in, my friend. Appreciate. Good to see you. I will check out your channel too over there. Unicorns, I like it. So, synthwave and unicorns. I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see. Yeah, and then just for the Blue Thunder show, the show Dana Carvey was in it, and then Bubba Smith was in it, Dick Butkus was in it, and then there are a couple other people. If you're pretty nerdy stuff. Cool. Let's see, last one here. Cotron says, interesting. Okay, didn't know those details about SG1. Thanks for explaining. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of television. I don't know. I don't watch enough stuff now to know if there's any connections between. I do know, like, when I watch some shows, I can pick out who the old school Stargate actors are when I see movies or shows. I could definitely pick those out. Who's who was what. I don't always remember the names. There's just so many of them, but yeah, and then I think here's this really kind of really nerdy thing. This is super nerdy. The casting director, I'm pretty sure the casting director for Stargate SG-1 was the same casting director for the Outer Limits show in the 90s. I'm pretty sure it was the same person. Either that or the casting directors knew each other, because there's a lot of the same people that crossed over from those shows into Stargate. And then I'm pretty sure that the writers and producers behind the show of Stargate SG-1 were Outer Limits people before they came over. And if you watch the show, the first 2 seasons, it's kind of got that vibe. Cotron says, unicorn tears go a long way with your synthwave vibes. Exactly. Cool. Sweet. Yeah, one more. Go. Yeah, Outer Limits, another great show from the past. Yeah, that's a good show. Yeah, that was the second generation. First generation is good, and of course the Twilight Zone as well. Twilight Zone is one of my favorites. Rob Serling. Cool. All right, everyone. Great evening. Great music. You're all wonderful. I appreciate you spending the evening with me. I always do. Thank you again. Hope everyone had a great Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy yourself. Get plenty of rest. Again, I'm live here every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Kick. New albums drop, premiere on YouTube at 8 p.m. Central Time on Mondays. And of course, I'm not sure if I'm going to be spinning up the stream this weekend. I might, but it'll definitely come down Monday or Tuesday because there's going to be some changes software wise, some things happening. So I might wait until early next week. But yeah, I'll see. Other than that, if not, I will definitely see you Monday. And hope everyone has a good weekend. Let's see. I'm just going to throw a couple more up here. Yeah, have a great weekend, William. Cheers, my friend. Dan Coachron says, great weekend, everyone. Nice hanging out with you. For sure. Members, enjoy the vibes. Cheers to all. Yep. With that said, until next time, Circuit Master signing off.